Hey guys, King Shaka here, back again with another video. This time we're going to be looking at the top 5 games that were released in January of this year, 2017. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this game was super hyped up. I played the game and I was honestly not that impressed, but it was still a pretty good game. Right, first I played the Aqua part, and that was all fine and dandy. It really showed off what we are going to expect from Kingdom Hearts 3, which is slated to release on December 29th of this year. But overall, playing 3D Dream Drop Distance was kind of boring in certain regards. I honestly find it the low point within the series, along with the remastering of Chain of Memories, because when you go for Kingdom Hearts 1 Chain of Memories, it's like the exact same thing. It's not anything different except you play some different enemies, but you're in the same levels as you were in the first game, and you're in a 2D environment on the original Game Boy Advance instead of the 3D environment of the PS2. But still, this game was good because it showed us off that. It gave us Kingdom Hearts Unchained, or the backstory, Kingdom Hearts backstory, where we look at the original Keyblade War and how we got the current Keyblade graveyard that first appears within Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. So I thought that was very interesting, but overall, is this game worth the $60? I don't think so. I think you should buy this game used at your local GameStop, as long, while there's still discs out. But let's go ahead and move on to our number 4 pick. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we got Gravity Rush 2 taking our number 4 spot. Now, this is obviously a sequel to the original Gravity Rush. Now, what Gravity Rush 2 does well is that it just looks absolutely amazing. The controls are pretty amazing. The only thing I have to say that is kind of disorienting when playing our main protagonist, Cat, is that, the camera is still pretty much an issue. Now, this camera can throw you off a couple times, but if you just readjust yourself, everything will be a-okay. What this game does really well, it's like an anime that you wish that you were watching on Crunchyroll and wish you could play. Well, now you're playing that anime, because it's very anime-esque with its over-the-top boss battles, its over-the-top abilities, and so on and so forth, with also a deep story that actually has you do side missions that, instead of just doing a side mission as a pointless to get EXP or gold or whatever you want to call it, it adds a level of depth to the story. So, side missions, I do recommend doing them because you enhance your experience by doing it instead of just doing it just to gain more EXP and all that crap. But overall, this game is stunning. It is a PS4 exclusive, so if you like yourself an anime-esque type of action adventure game and love to fly, then I do recommend this game. But let's go ahead and move on to our number 3 spot. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for our next pick, we got pick number 3, and that is Tales of Berseria, the anime that is essentially a video game, and it does a lot of things well. I love the visuals of it. I love the anime-esque feel of it, where it's an anime, but you're also playing a video game. And it's not one of those high school animes, one of those fantasy animes with the over-the-top animations and well-developed characters, and a plot line that actually is deep and not just a tale. This is indeed a tale of vengeance. There's no other way of putting it. It's a tale of vengeance. I could change the name of this title to Tales of Vengeance, but overall, it's mainly focused on the interaction of the main characters and how they deal with their little vengeance, and how are they dealing with the environment they're in, being on the wrong side of history in this game. However, even though the game does all these things well, I will have to harp on the fact that for such a game, it's very linear. It's not as open world as I expect it to be. It's definitely different than the previous Tales games, but it's just way too linear for the type of game that we're playing. It also lacks a lot of fast travel. It forces you to do a lot of backtracking, which if you're going to do backtracking, which is fine, you have to have a way for the player to easily access the previous areas without feeling like they have to go through a whole ordeal, which I feel like the game does kind of fail at, especially with the linear type of environment that it is. But overall, if you are a really huge JRPG fan, you've already got the game by the time this video came out. Like, I mean, if you're thinking about getting into JRPGs, this is definitely a game you want to pick up. Maybe not the first Tales game, because I feel like you want to experience the other ones and then really see the difference between the previous ones and this one, because it's such a different tone and story. But it's definitely a must pick. But let's go ahead and move on to our number 2 pick. Alright guys, for our number 2 pick, we have Resident Evil 7 released for PS4, Xbox, PC, everywhere. It's everywhere, man. And this one's a big one, boys, because it goes back to its roots where we don't have those gimmicky jump scares, those gimmicky abilities, gimmicky bullshit, Umbrella Corporation. No, ladies and gentlemen, we just have the dread, the horror, and that is Resident Evil 7, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the structure of the game is very definitely in-your-face horror type game. It's not like a bunch of jump scares like Five Nights at Freddy's, but it does have that level of dark and dread, and you just feel it oozing in every section of the game. Now, puzzle-wise, this game does have puzzles, but they're relatively simple, as that is not the main focus of this game. Now, this game also does have boss battles, and each boss battle is different in every way. Sometimes you're more sneaky and more tactile in your boss fight, and other times you're more upfront and abrasive with your fighting. Overall, the game is a linear game, but it's okay because it mainly focuses on the horror aspect of the game. It's not like, you know, an open world horror game such as Outlast, where you kind of can go where you need to go, but it's still kind of Another thing that this game does well is that if you're a fan of Outlast, then you will also recognize this game's structure in a sort of way, how it's kind of set up in the first person perspective, and you are traveling through this house trying to find your wife, and shit just comes around the corner. Now, you never feel like you're OP in this game, because the game realizes and lets you know, like, hey, you're not OP. In fact, here's an enemy that makes you not OP. Some enemies kind of just like RNG and kind of just there, but other times you'll find an enemy like, holy shit, how the hell? You gotta be a little bit more tactile. Your items are limited. You gotta pay special attention to your ammo, health packs, and all that stuff. There is no abundance of anything. So overall, if you're in the horror genre, this is definitely a must pick up. You have to get it. And if you have a VR headset, I do recommend playing, not the entire time, but sometimes of the game with VR, because it's definitely very, very interesting. But let's go ahead and head to our number 1 pick. Alright, last but certainly not least, our number 1 pick, and that is Nioh, released for exclusively the PS4. This action RPG, as we call it, soul-like game, follows our main protagonist William in feudal Japan, finding some spirit because some douchebag took it away from him. It's like Legend of Zelda meets Dark Souls, ladies and gentlemen. Well, kind of like Majora's Mask, as you know, Link goes on a quest to find his lost fairy friend, and this is kind of the same type of ordeal, but in the Dark Souls type feudal Japan area. Now, unlike Dark Souls, which is completely open world, you know, not really any type of real, I guess you would call them side missions or like missions in general, but in this game it's mission based. It's not like you travel in a one giant world and you just travel all around it. This game is solely based on mission. Solely based on mission based. You travel by doing the mission. You can go back and do previous missions. There's the action type of gameplay is definitely different. You know, it has different stances, a high, low, and medium stance or mid stance, and you have different weapons, just like in Dark Souls, but You instead have ranged weapons that are, I would say, a lot more intuitive than the ones in Dark Souls. The dodging system is not as good, if you're going to compare the two, but it does do a lot with the action. And, it's definitely hard. You can't just go bum rush everything. You gotta actually like level up your character, pick different weapons, have a good time. But this game can be a pain in the ass sometimes, so you do have to, pay attention to your dodging and crap. So don't just bum rush it. Take your time, learn to dodge. Dodging is going to be your friend in this game, as well as doing your executions. So those are my top 5 picks for January. Let me know what game you bought in January in the comment section down below. Leave a like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
We about to turn it on.